What is up, everybody? Today is Thursday, June 8th, 2017. You are watching MMA Junkie Radio. I'm Goz. This is George. This is the MMA Junkie Radio pre-show that we do every day just to kind of get you guys warmed up. This is where we're all probably in the Harley-Davidson prep point right now, getting Vaseline on our faces, getting ready to enter that cage and talk a little MMA. Ain't that right, George?
Yeah, does Harley-Davidson still do it?
No.
No, they don't? Who's doing it now?
I'm not even sure that they do the prep point. I know they changed it to something else.
Right.
But I haven't seen it lately in some of the other ones.
You know how
I thought it was brilliant when they came up with it.
Oh, yeah. Or someone's got to pay for that. Earlier because if the announcer's saying it and you can see the logo, I think there's value to it. Earlier you were saying that Manchester United is the most,
2 minutes
valuable franchise in all sports. And a
Was
lot
it-
of it comes
Was it
from
valuable or was it popular?
valuable.
Valuable?
Maybe popular too. I'd have to check, what
I
how
think
you-
it's based on like shirt sales and tickets and all that, right? Something like
social media, yeah.
that. Okay.
So, anyway, where I guess they get a lot of their revenue is through these sponsorship deals. So they have the kit deal with Adidas and Aon, which is an insurance provider. They sponsor their training gear.
Mm-hmm.
So they train in
They did do
gear
one.
made by
They did do one
Aon.
year though, didn't they? Of the actual
Aon?
jersey. Yeah, I thought they did.
Oh, I think so too. And then Chevrolet's also sponsor, and then
Oh.
Tag Heuer's their watch sponsor. So they have a car. I think Lexus is their car sponsor. I can't remember, but they literally have top-notch sponsors, and they rake in so much just from that. Aside from their popularity, and then of course getting to 2 finals, winning the 2 finals this year. They have one of the bigger stadiums, if not the biggest stadium in all of England,
A lot of new stadiums.
with the exception of Wembley. But that doesn't house a regular side, so that's their own
Coming up
private
30.
stadium. And like you said, shirt sales, sponsorships, the money that comes in from the $24 billion EPL. What now?
Forgot to tape the game.
Oh, Peru
Yeah.
or U.S. What time's Peru?
Peru 2.
2. Well, I still have to go back home. Well, so do you.
You said it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys, coming up at 10.
Yeah, who do they play? Paraguay. Danny, how much?
They beat 'em
5 or
4-1
3
last time.
or 2 or 1?
Coming up at 5. Coming up at 5 now. All right, say bye.
See you in a few, junkies.
Wow.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
All right, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Go.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me as always is the devious and dastardly Goes, our co-host back east, handling all the producing duties. It's Danny. What's up, guys?
Hi, George. How are you?
Good.
Hi, Danny. How are you?
Good.
Well,
How
that's
about you?
funny because that's what I thought, Danny.
Wow.
How do you like that? How do you like starting the show off like that?
How do you like it, fool?
It was
Hey, so I don't know how this happened, But on Facebook, I don't want to. Okay, no, I take it back. The only way I remember people's birthdays now is because of Facebook. But somehow Facebook populated my calendar, iCal.
Did it?
Yeah, Martin's shaking his head. Are you a Windows guy, or are you an Apple guy, or are you a computer guy? Both? Okay. I'd like to remove that because I don't need to be reminded on my calendar. My calendar is more for like Mother's Day, Father's Day, holidays, and Juliet's birthday, Max's, something like that, right? Anyway, it just popped up. Quick reminder: it's Dan Severn's 59th birthday.
Oh wow.
Nothing against Dan Severn or anybody else, but I'll go to Facebook when I'm in the mood to see what everyone's all about, and if it happens to be your birthday, I'm the first one to wish you happy birthday because I'm up late. So that means I'm usually one of the first ones to get you. But for it to just be popping up and filling up my calendar, I mean, that's a lot of fools, you know. But he's 59.
Yeah, it's
and if
crazy.
you see him, he still looks like he's in great shape. Like, who'd want to mess with that guy?
Not me.
Yeah. So happy birthday to Dan Severn. He
Cool
reaches
cat.
out from
He's a
time
nice
to
guy.
time on Facebook, so there's probably that 1% chance he's listening. And if you are, again, happy birthday, Dan Severn. Now, sadly, through Facebook, I miss birthdays too, and someone just had one, and I caught the tail end of it. Randy Boynton?
No, Randy Feel. Is that it? Say his last name? Or site
Randy.
coordinator?
Oh, that sucks. He's one of the nicest dudes ever. I may have missed that. I don't know. I'll have to check because I was traveling, and but I caught the tail end of somebody else too. Somebody gave the old thank you everyone for the birthday wishes.
Oh, that's so funny. When they do that, I like when people tag on to that post and go, happy birthday. You're just lazy. You gotta come up with something creative.
I really do come clean and say, hope you enjoyed your birthday. Now, that's past tense, which means there's a chance I may have forgotten, but at least I'm not fronting, you know?
So
like, happy birthday, you know, the kids or travel. I mean, there's just hope you enjoyed your birthday. That implies I realize I'm late, but I snuck in. And if you want to bust my balls, go ahead. And if not, then we're all good.
I like getting in and saying, so did you do anything crazy for your birthday?
That's another good way of doing
I
it,
like
too.
to do that one.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Or sometimes I'll go, well, I didn't want to take attention away from family and friends, so I'm going to hit you up.
Okay, that's the bullshit.
But yeah, I mean, they know that, but at least I said something.
Yeah.
But the one thing that drives me irate in those posts, or when I say happy birthday, let's just say Martin. Today's Martin's birthday. Happy birthday, Martin.
It really is?
No.
Oh.
That's why I said let's just say it's Martin's birthday. And I say happy birthday, Martin, and then people like me saying happy birthday to him, which is so stupid. It drives me crazy, but that's the one thing I just don't like.
Yeah.
Because nobody does that in person. If you go happy birthday, Martin, in the studio, and I don't go, hey, George, you know how you said happy birthday to
I like
Martin?
that you said that.
That was cool, dude. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Why do you like somebody else saying happy birthday
Could
to
it be
another person?
someone that could it be someone that wants to be Martin's friend, and through you, they're kind of like, what they're doing is, you're going, happy birthday, Martin, and I'm just going like this, right? And then I'm hoping Martin goes, well, who are you? You know, and I go, well, I'm George, and now him and I are friends. So they may not be friends with him, but they're like, well, if he's a friend that goes, he's a friend of mine, so he's just kind of leaning on you. Like little Chris. Remember little Chris on Back to Boys in the Hood? You know, he was always leaning on who did he wind up being? Little Chris wound up being Little Craig, or Big Craig at the time. Little Big Craig, right? Little Chris wound up on the wheelchair.
Yeah.
But remember when they were little? Remember the little fat boy, which was Craig, right?
Yeah. Doughboy?
Doughboy. Yeah. Didn't little Chris always lean on him?
I think
that
so.
That cracked me up when he did that.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
Yeah. Great movie if you've never seen it. I know some of you millennials are tripping, but that really is a good movie.
You know, the millennials...
In fact, it's referenced in NWA.
They don't like to go back and watch old movies, I've noticed. I wasn't like that. I'd like to go back and watch old... I actually took a film class, like, to watch... I go back and watch old movies.
I won't do 40s and 50s. Juliet kind of made me do a few of those, but I did go back and do a few.
There's a few you got to do, but I noticed they don't do that. And I can maybe hit myself on that, too, because I don't really see new movies as much in the movie theater. I just watch them when they come out, thanks to our friend John Romero, who gave us a little password to something. That's awesome.
I haven't used that lately.
Oh, it's incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
They've been bringing it? Okay. The millennials. First of all, NWA was straight out of Compton. I called it NWA, but it was Straight Outta Compton was the movie. That one, they referenced Boys in the Hood when they had some success, and by then he had made the movie. So
Friday, too.
What did you think of Brandon from the IE and John Rico, who watched the movie every day for a year?
And they had to do it, right? Because if they missed a day, then the whole thing's
Oh,
done.
I don't know. Did they bet each other? Did they happen to
I think it was
agree,
something
like,
on
hey, if you
Facebook.
do it, I'll do it? What was the deal with that? I
Yeah.
just noticed they did it.
I think it was a challenge that somebody put out, and just a lot of people did it. I mean,
Were
if you
there
have
was
the time
other
to
two
do
as
it-
well?
Huh?
Or there was others as well?
yeah, but I guess amongst our friends, those were the two that we knew. But
It was impressive in a way. In a way, I was like, come
yeah,
on,
it's
guys.
a big commitment, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's a movie you've never seen.
Could you miss a day and then do 2 on the weekend?
I don't think so.
You had to watch a
Yeah,
movie
'cause
a
I think
day?
that was the point of it, was every day you had to watch one. I don't know if maybe they had the
Damn.
weekends off or something.
Crazy. No, I think
you
they
do
did.
that?
I think they did 300. No, I couldn't do it.
I-
I
you
just
know
know
what
I'd try it, but I wouldn't make it far.
I would like music. If somebody just has like a band they like or something, like every once in a while, Aaron Fisher will send me stuff. Go, hey, check out this band. And most of the time, I like whatever people send me. So I'm very open to that.
Yeah. Well, an album a day would take about an hour, which is almost like a movie a day, right?
Maybe.
Albums are usually
But you can
like
do
9,
stuff while you're
12
listening to
songs.
music,
True.
like clean your room or whatever. But movie, I guess you have to pay attention. You have to be there.
I just can't. I tend to multitask. Therefore, I don't absorb everything. I just can kind of give you the Cliff Notes version,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can easily tune out if I'm not into it. Did you watch Tough? I know I'm supposed to ask that, but you did because you were sitting next to me. But what did you think of Tough?
I didn't watch it. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it was. I thought.
Did
it was
you
a
stick
great
around for the
episode.
second fight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. And the coaches, every
Everyone's
coach's challenge
clowning
is fun,
on it.
right?
I went on the UG and they were like, ha ha, I stopped watching it 23 seasons ago and this, that, whatever. And I'm like, well, but you do still post on the UG. And that does not, I'm not saying that makes you a loser, but that doesn't make you the coolest ever because you gave that up and you still do this or maybe others.
It
I don't
depends
know.
what
I
you-
still think
what
there's
you're
something
doing.
to get out of. I mean, with fast forward, it's like a 40-minute commitment. And even then, if you just go fast forward through the bullshit, it's possibly a 10-minute commitment for the
Mhm.
fight, unless they have to go the third round. You know, and usually every episode has maybe something to gain. I don't know. Or
I thought it was fun.
I feel like it's the same people that'll complain, oh, my God, they don't promote fighters. Well, they're promoting 2 coaches right there. You're learning more about the coaches and how they interact with their team. You learn a little bit about their personal life. And then some of those become superstars. So I'm into it, and will always be into it, regardless that it's the job. Someone once
fighters
made
that
a good
come off the
point. You have
show still
something
do
better to do
stuff.
at Wednesday at that time. I'm like, no, I can handle it. And then with DVR, I can watch it at midnight and just catch up. I'll even do the tough talk. It's usually pretty funny. So I'm into it. We won't dive too much into it because that's what we'll let Jason, the intern, do. He'll join us in about 20 minutes or so. He'll do his recap of Tough 25 Redemption Season Episode 8. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 8. 2 fights they had last night, along with the Coaches Challenge.
Yeah. Fun coaches challenge.
We'll also be joined by Alex Garcia. He is fighting Tim Means. Great fight at UFC Fight Night 112 in Oklahoma City, headlined by Michael Chiesa and Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee will be in studio by tomorrow, by the way. And lastly, Ryan Parsons. A lot of people don't know this. He's a doctor. Dr. Ryan Parsons, chiropractor. Except he hasn't done it in so long that he said, lose the doctor. I'm just Ryan Parsons now.
Mm-hmm.
Manager to a lot of fighters. And he's recently co-authored a book with Chael Sonnen. We'll learn more about that. So it's a fun show that's headed your way. And we invite you to be a part of it. 866-522-2846. Call in. Let's chat. Look, I guess we don't mind if you share a little bit on Tough, but we're kind of saving that for Jason. But anything else you want to chime in, which, according to the analytics, do you read the stuff Dan sends?
Yeah.
That Demetrius Johnson thing won't go away. Like, a lot
That's
of people
good.
are reading it, and that actually brought some attention, to the division. I don't know if that registers into pay-per-view sales, but anybody that says, "Oh no, who cares about the smaller athletes, the lighter weight classes?" A lot of people care, man, because it's been dominating the headlines as of late.
I'm not sure it'll help him if he fights Ray Borg, but if that TJ match does get put together, I think it will definitely boost those ratings.
TJ's doing his part as well. He was the featured guest on Tough Talk, so they asked him about it, and he basically called him out.
Mhm.
something along the lines of, "Don't be scared, homie."
But
Bisping pushes them hard. I like that, and Karen does too. But they want an actual quote,
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it was like, DJ, let's do this.
But Demetrius doesn't seem like the type of guy that will fall into pressure like that. He's always been the same guy. Like
There's a yes and a no to it. If you read that timeline of the story, eventually he did cave in and say, "All right, give me Borg," or right.
TJ, but he had his stipulations.
TJ, but yeah, he had his stipulations. So I
Which I
guess
didn't think were that outrageous.
right. He wanted to get paid in case he didn't make weight. That was one. And usually, if you've made weight, they will pay you your show. And usually, DJ's show money is pretty solid. So I guess it would be in the case of TJ on Tuesday going, "Oh, man, I'm not going to make it," and maybe the fight falling apart. But then he doesn't have – he may not get paid. And the other thing is there's no attempt to break the record of most title defenses.
Well,
and that's kind of a waste of a camp is what he's saying. Now, the UFC saying, "We'll give you Borg as insurance," and he used that against them as if to say, "I thought you said you guaranteed he would make weight." But I think that's where I'd go. Like, if I'm the arbitrator, go, "DJ, relax." They're trying to give you a plan where if he doesn't make weight and this guy does, and I realize that both have problems or have had problems. Well, actually, TJ's never missed weight, but him coming for the first time and Borg having had the problems. So what they're saying is, should he not make weight, he steps in, and now you get your 10 title defense. Now DJ fires back and says, "Well, now you're asking me to prepare for 2. What kind of professionalism is that?" Now, that was kind of a good one. That was kind of a good zinger, but that's that. I guess I would still go, well, that's the wacky sport we're in, too. What do you want, a plan 3? Or I mean, we can't – there is no guarantee. You could actually say – so-and-so, who's always made weight with an 8-fight win streak, you get in there. He may not make weight. There's really, really no guarantees.
Well, here's what I would do. If TJ Dillashaw really wants this fight and he knows he can make 125, why not say, "All right, UFC, you take care of Demetrius' show. I'll take care of his pay if I don't make weight." If you really think you're going to make the weight, probably have no issue in doing that, right?
One more time.
Okay. UFC, you take care of Demetrius' show if I don't make weight. And if I don't make weight, I'll take care of his extra.
Who are you, though?
I'm TJ Dillashaw.
Oh, that way you're saying
So
that's how confident I
He
am.
gets the full purse. Now, Demetrius wouldn't have much to say, right? Because he's going to get his money.
Yeah.
If you're TJ,
I think at that point, though, it
then
became
you go, "That's no
the
sweat
big
off
dick
my
contest, though. Like, at that point, I think the UFC's like, wait a minute. You are legit. You're number 1 pound for pound. You're going to break this record. All respect. We got you your belts. We realized we fucked up. Maybe we could promote you better. Maybe you could promote yourself better. But at some point, it's like, not everyone else is doing this either. So you know how they bend for Conor? But then they go, but Conor brings this. And they open this vault, and there's gold and coins and dollar bills that pour out. And with DJ, it's like, and you bring, and there's just not as much of that
Like a
trickles
piggy bank or
out.
something?
So I think at that point, it'd be like, take it easy. Like, concessions can be made, all this can be agreed to. But what have I always said goes, fly to the damn office, sit down, and write it down and hash it out and loosen the tie. I don't know how it starts, and at the end there might be cursing and pushing and shoving, but at the end you shake hands, you sign, you agree to stuff, you look eye, always look eye, and avoid the sarcasm and this bullshit or whatever. And, now there could be that Dana privately texts them all and says, "This is going great, isn't it? We're building the fight. I'm pretending to be this, you're pretending to be that." But we would have found out by now because some sellout fighter would have said, "Oh, I got that text years ago. He's just building it." So I really believe that there is animosity. So that's why, again, fly in from Seattle, sit down with the boss, and just hash it out. Work this out. Mick Maynard, get him on the line. Sean, get in this office. They're both in the office, Dana and Sean. Get in the office. Well, we're going to hammer this out, and we're going to make a deal right now. And then, boom, this is what I want, this is what you want. And start kind of like a car negotiation. Right? When you go in there, you don't just go, even the person that knows what they want rarely goes in there and goes, "This is it," and I mean, there's still a little bit of hashing out to do. That's what you got to do. It's a business.
Do you think any of this has to do with Matt Hume? Or do you think these are all the emotions of Demetrius Johnson? Because for me, it feels like it's all Demetrius.
Yeah, I don't know Matt too well, so I don't know how many fighters he manages and what he's like, but he's got experience as a fighter.
Judge?
Well, yeah, as a judge, but he's
Trainer?
an executive for one championship. So he's been on both sides. There's experience there, so I got to believe. Because somebody also pointed, it may have been Twitter, Facebook, the UG, I can't remember. You have a shitty manager, DJ, is what they said. How have you not gotten pay-per-view points? Somebody countered with one of those pseudonym numbers, but someone that seemed to have some knowledge. Oh, yeah, well, and they pointed out that DJ is one of the higher-paid fighters when it comes to upfront money.
Mm-hmm.
And in disparity between him and the rest of the division, whereas there's other divisions where other fighters are getting paid more than the champs. So good points brought by all, but again, Hume seems to be pretty experienced. I think that's all DJ's emotions, but I think he's very tight with his coach / manager / friend, and there was probably some input there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like edit this draft before I post it, because it was a long post. Did you read the whole thing?
Yeah.
It was a pretty interesting read. He went into detail. If you haven't seen it, I know we grabbed a hold of it and put it on the front page of MMA Junkie. So it's probably, you'll have to scroll down a bit. I'll see if I can find it. Anyway, all right, let's squeeze in a couple calls here, and then we'll go to commercial. What time is he coming on, Danny? Do you know? Goes 30, right?
11 or 10:30.
All right, let's talk to Marco from Waco, Texas. What's up, Marco?
Marco from Waco, Littles again. Yes. Hey, for all those Cavalier fans, man, Cleveland fans, just still got to steep in Miocics, man, because the Cavs are done. Tomorrow it's it. Sweep. 16-0. That's going to be, man. You watched the game last night?
That's very impressive. Yeah, to go undefeated like that, and I predict they will as well. What's the line goes? Do you see one?
I think it was -6.
Oh, wow. They're as high as -6 in Cleveland. Man, I think they outscored them 11-0 in the last minute or 2 minutes. I do remember seeing 113-107, and the final score was 118-113. And I think what hurt them the most was, this is 2020 again, Kyrie Irving, who did hit a huge shot last year. He went one-on-one, and I think it was Curry that was guarding him. And whatever moves he had, he wasn't getting that type of space that he normally does. So I attribute the defense, because he had like a sequence where he was between the legs, around the back, and up and down. Eventually, when he did get a shot off, it became a low percentage shot, and I think he almost like dribbled too much. It was too much faking, going and stopping. You have to basically, hit that hole and commit. Because at some point the defense starts retreating and they become more of a zone, and they're more prepared to defend. And so if you're not going to do it, then you got to put it in LeBron's hands, because he's so big that if there is contact, they're more than likely it's going to be in his favor, and he'll still be able to get off a clean shot. Plus, he's the superstar of the team, and I find fault with that. Like, I think LeBron, should have been in his hands in that sequence. Now, he also had the one where he came off of a screen, and he was going to shoot the three, and I think Iguodala
Get stuffed.
Yeah, snapped out of his hand. But that's not LeBron's type of shot. Even though he's become better at the three-pointer, it's basically taking people to the hole. So, and then after that, they just melted down, and the other guys hit free throws, and they were clutch. So, props to the Warriors. I said it last year when the Warriors choked. Good teams can win it. Great teams can go back-to-back, and obviously the elite teams are the ones that can go three or more. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to do, and Cleveland's finding that out. Of course, it helped the Warriors tremendously that they had somebody who they eliminated just go in and piggyback, on their great team, their team that won 73 games. They didn't need Durant. I would have wanted to battle Cleveland and beat them with our team, the team that we had, maybe pick up a key piece or two, but to get another superstar, it worked out for them. But I don't know. I think they had a good enough team to beat Cleveland anyway.
The one thing you would
that's how
never
great that
say
team is. Yeah.
about Michael Jordan?
Huh?
The one thing you would never say about Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
That's not his type of shot.
Oh, meaning he always got what he wanted?
No, it means put him wherever you want on that floor. He's going to hit it. Whether he's going to the hole, he's dangerous, or whether he's pulling up, shooting a three, whatever.
Yeah.
He has
he
every
created
shot.
a lot of space, and he was
Yeah.
so athletic he could get up in the air.
That's what made him a menace.
Yeah.
Okay, little MMA. I'm picking Derek Lewis to win by knockout on the third.
On the third?
Super side on the third.
You know, Marco,
That's why, right?
because that other Hunt is an experienced kickboxer. I mean, he I think the longer it goes, the more it could favor Hunt. So I like the prediction of Derek Lewis, but I think it's him doing something early on because he's just so powerful. He's got such a tremendous reach. He can hit you so hard with both hands and smother you. But I would feel like that the longer it goes on, that the more technical fighter is more likely to win. But why do you think that as the fight goes on, you like Derek?
Because in the last two fights that he won by knockout, even though when things were not going his way, this guy finds a way to win late.
Yeah.
Against Travis Brown and against a Russian dude, he did the same. So I think because things are not going to go his way in the beginning, some way, somehow he's going to gut it out, find a way to put him in the ground and pound him.
Okay.
Jason Knight, Ricardo Lama, super psyched for that. And Dimitrios needs to get paid, brother. Pay the man. We better let you guys catch you guys tomorrow.
See you, brother. All right. Let's take this break. I was going to try and squeeze in Bob from Calgary. Does he do quick calls?
Yeah, he does.
It is? All right, let's get him in. Bob from Calgary, what's up?
This is good, boys. Two quick questions for you. First, 216 in Edmonton coming. What do you guys think about Max Holloway and Edgar headlining that event?
I really feel like they're going to make a push for Hawaii.
That's in August. So I don't know if Max does it that quick, but maybe. I mean, money does talk. But, yeah, I'd be down with it. I'd be happy for you guys. Goes is right. I think there's a push to be made for Hawaii. The only problem is, are the wheels in motion? Because if they're not, then I don't know that they can get it done that quickly. But if they are, and they just needed somebody to bank on, then yeah, let's run that.
Cool. And one last question for you guys. With Bellator coming up in New York, I cannot believe I'm asking this question. If you were the UFC, who would you sign from Bellator? I was thinking Bobby Lashley. Thanks a lot, guys.
See you, bud.
Anyone on the Bellator roster?
Mm-hmm. Chandler. I'd get Davis and Bader back. Just from the card, right?
Oh, from I guess
all right.
so.
Chandler.
I mean, you have a prospect in Aaron Pico, maybe.
Yeah, but he hasn't even had one fight yet.
But everybody said so many great things about him in the gym that I tend to believe that.
Chandler, the two light heavyweights, Fedor, Mitrione, I'd want him back. I would say Lima and Larkin both. I think are quality welterweights.
If you could get either Fedor or Chandler, who would you get? Fedor is probably going to be a one fight.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I'd go with Chandler.
But you can make that fight that everybody's always.
Fedor and who?
Just Fedor and anybody in the UFC.
Who would you match him up? He goes, all right, I'll do it. Now who do you match me up with?
Well, the name that I think everybody always wanted was Randy, but that can't happen. And then the name after that would be Brock, right? But that can't happen either. So
it can, because in 1 year it expires.
But by then, Fedor, I mean, not taking a fight.
Brock.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
I would match him up with.
I guess type music, right? Because as much as I guess we think of Kane and a rematch against Verdum, Stipe Music's handling his business.
I like Stipe Music, and I like Kane just because it's more of a UFC representative, right? Where Verdum, you can trace him back to Strikeforce and Pride. I like the angle of just a fresh guy. Yeah.
So Kane or Stipe Music, but
Stipe's
Stipe's the champ.
Yeah.
And so if you're a Fedor fan, you want him to compete for the world title.
That would be tits.
Yeah. All right. And just so you know, Bob from Calgary. So far, UFC 216 has Gavin Tucker against Rick Glenn. So you guys are off to a great start. Kind of a dick move there, but I'm sure they'll pad more to that. And I like Rick Glenn. He was in our studio once. He's cool. I don't even remember who Gavin Tucker is. Do you?
Brought his shirts and everything.
Yeah. All right, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back with the intern, Jason.
Try to set the
Munch.
Go ahead.
Butt
All
munch.
Let's see here. What are the people saying in the chat? We'll try to do this more often. You can play it, Danny. You keep it playing. There you go.
Maybe that's how they tell that we're doing that. Except for when he hits the bump. Danny,
Yeah, then everything's
has Jason called in?
Yeah, he's on hold.
Okay.
Eddie Washington. Topics. International Fight Week. DJ versus TJ. Shift in the women's division. And New Zealand card. When would TJ and DJ fight? I think it's for that 215 card that's rumored to be in Seattle. Like August 19th, I think they're saying. Shift in the women's division. Well, Joanna's reigning supreme at 15. Flyweight will be launched this fall. And 35 has Amanda Nunes, who I think is a great fighter. She's got a quality opponent. And then 45 is just the disarray division. I think you know what? Just
Valentina gets a win though. It shakes things up. If they don't do an immediate rematch, which I wouldn't.
Yeah. But 45, what would you do? Just close it down?
I would.
Yeah. It seems to be like there's just even if you go, all right, Cyborg, here's some money, let's do it, Anaheim. Then what? Like after Megan Anderson, unless Holly wants to move up, I mean what other quality fighters are there?
It just reminds me of when Klitschko was king about 5 years ago. Just fighting people that don't make sense.
Listen to the latest episode of this show or the rest of the SiriusXM Rush lineup anytime you want on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Okay.
Explosive takedowns, jaw-dropping KOs, and electrifying submissions. If it happens in the world of mixed martial arts, we're talking about it on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.
Gavin Tucker was the guy that beat Sam Cecilia. He had a great debut. It was in Halifax.
Cleverton Ave.
Thought that was Archie.
What?
Archie, get your ass in here.
Okay. What else are people saying? Chasm. 216 has Hayes and Cejudo. Marias versus Ashley Smith. Okay, that's right. That was added. That was added yesterday, I think. Tony Polito. It is what it is. That's Tony from San Francisco.
That's it?
That's it.
Get real.
Dwayne from Oklahoma. Afternoon, gents. Christopher Larive. Good morning, guys. Eddie Washington. Good morning.
When Dwayne says good morning, I picture a cigar in his mouth and a steak in front of him. I don't know why.
Dwayne from Oklahoma?
Yeah. Like that, and he's reading the paper.
Conor McGregor for president from Tony Durgis. Sebastian Essman. Hey guys. Chavali Kali Julian says lit. He must be high. Right. Brad Midson. Good day from Aussie land. Fist bump.
Hey.
David Bugner. That's Bugsy, right?
Yeah.
Buenos dias.
Did you know?
Lastly goes Bimiano Martinez. Hello from Houston. Morning, gents. Morning, Bimiano. What's up?
People from New Zealand don't like
mate.
Yeah.
I found that out.
And by people from New Zealand, I mean Luke is from New Zealand.
He doesn't like
What
it.
do they?
But he
what do they
represents
say?
it all.
What's,
I don't know.
What's their thing?
But there's a funny video of Derek Lewis learning New Zealand slang.
I did see that. I haven't listened to it yet, though.
How do you know, Danny?
Back at 30.
Has Manchester United signed anybody?
Nope.
I guess come back in 10.
Yeah, Jeremy Botter's back in MMA. Bleacher Report.
No, wasn't he Flo?
He was.
I thought he went back. Oh.
They are the stretch marks on the underbelly of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tats. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Like the song?
This is, I can never tell them apart, but Blink?
No.
Green Day?
No.
Oh, who?
Yellow Card?
Danny's band?
No.
Yellowtail?
Yellow Card.
Yellow Card?
Yeah. Do you like
I
it?
like it.
Oh, damn. He picked it. I was hoping he'd go, this is garbage.
No, Garbage is the one with the ladies singing, right?
Right.
All right. The latest odds are Mark Hunt even, Derek Lewis minus 130. So Derek Lewis slight favorite there. Derek Brunson minus 270. Daniel Kelly plus 220. Ross Pearson plus 130. Daniel Hooker minus 160. Ion Cutellara minus 250. Enrique De Silva plus 200. Tim Elliott minus 240. Ben Wynn plus 190.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's going to be a good fight.
And Volkanovski minus 380. Brown and Pichel even. Jumal and Steele is, well, Steele's minus 170. Moraga's minus 150. Otto is minus 300. Future bets, Shevchenko. Oh, sorry, Nunes is the favorite, minus 125. Lawler is favored over Cerrone, minus 145. Guess who's favored out of Verdum and Overeem?
Verdum by a little bit.
Overeem by a little bit, minus 145.
145.
Yeah. You know, that's the way a lot of people handicap and then make their bets.
They wait?
So, no. What you did was you said Verdum by a little bit. So you were expecting a minus.
Mm-hmm.
Now that he's a plus. Well, actually, what I didn't ask you was who do you like? I should ask you before the fight, who do you like?
Overeem.
Overeem?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I like
Verdum?
Yeah.
So now you should be going, wow.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dog. Right. You should be running to the window to make your plays. But, of course, it can shift in many directions. Those are all the ones we have. If you go to Mandalay Bay, Luxor, Excalibur, MGM, Mirage, Aria, those are all MGM resort properties. And all the lines will be the same. So that's all we have as of right now. But as you get closer to the event, then they expand on the particular event and some of the big fights that are coming up. We'll be doing some parlay talk and all that bullshit tomorrow. Because I did well. I don't know if I told you. I did well on UFC 212.
Did you?
Yeah.
How'd you do on staff picks?
5-0.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but a lot of people had 4-1, so I didn't gain much. John finally crossed over to 500 because I think he was 4-1, but I noticed just everybody did well. There may have been a 3-2, so a couple.
Fernandez stepping it up too. Have you noticed?
Yeah. Who's winning? Matt, right?
I think Simon is, isn't he?
Simon again? Wow. All right, let's talk to Jason Buckamer, also known as Jason the Intern. He'll be recapping The Ultimate Fighter Season 8 episode, which took place last night. And we had 2 fights and a coach's challenge, so lots to talk about. If you want to chime in on the episode, we'll be completely free until 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time when Alex Garcia joins us. We'll go back-to-back with Alex Garcia and Ryan Parsons. So let's spend some time talking about Tough 25 Redemption, Episode 8. Let's bring back Jason B. What up, player?
Boys?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm back in Canada. It's raining here, so I missed the Vegas sun. But besides that, I'm not too bad. What about you?
Doing all right. Just got back from New York.
How was that? I heard you were hanging out with Danny a little bit.
Yeah, well, that answers the question then, right? It obviously wasn't that great. Didn't go as planned.
Wow.
Could have been better.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I was stuck with that lop.
Poor Danny. Poor Danny.
No, we hung out a lot.
harassment
Danny,
every
how
day.
many meals and how many beers? I mean, we were drinking everywhere. We were eating, and we hung out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much every afternoon after the show that you were here.
Even
and Saturday.
Victoria went out with us. Couldn't get her to drink, though. She says, I do drink, but she just, at that moment, it wasn't a special occasion, so she didn't have a drink. And we were like, okay, cool. Tried a couple times, but I think she needed to get home to her man.
Yeah, that's true.
Jason, so you've obviously been keeping
Pretty
up.
good. I hung out with my mom. She's in town, so it was fun.
Oh, okay.
Munch. Munch.
All right, go ahead, George.
Jason, you've been keeping up with the show, right? You didn't drop. Yeah, I know that you're no longer here, and that was your assignment on a weekly basis. But did you keep up with the last couple episodes?
Oh, of course. I feel like in this season I'm really invested in this. I know sometimes it goes season to season where you're invested a little more than others, but this season, man, the redemption storyline, it totally got me hooked. So even though I wasn't in studio with you guys, I definitely kept tabs on it, man. Definitely had to watch it.
Very cool. Well, we're going to concentrate just on this latest episode. I'm sure by now everybody knows, that we're in the round of 16, and following the previous week's episode in which Joe Stevenson had let me see, what happened in that one? Did he win?
Nah, he lost in unanimous decision
to
Justin Edwards after a really good fight, actually.
Took a lot of damage.
He took a lot of damage, and they didn't want him to fight again, but they pushed for it. Cody, of course, didn't want to, and I kind of sided with him. TJ, especially learning more from Tough Talk, he said Joe came to him and said, hey, man, this would be huge for my kids. And let's not forget, yes, there's risk involved, but for $250,000, if you catch fire, he's got a good squeeze. I think that's why TJ was fighting for him. But not to spoil what happened, but of course that was the concern going in. That's right. Edwards had advanced cleanly. He was the first guy to advance for Team Garbrandt. And now there was one open spot for a wild card. And I thought somebody would just become the wild card, but they had an actual wild card match, which wound up being Hader Hassan, and Joe Stevenson. Take it from here, Jason.
Yeah, so Hader, man, he lost to Diego de Lima, which was his good friend. And I said in that fight, just his mentality, he was so apologetic back in the preliminary round when he was versus Diego because he said he won that fight. I just thought his whole mentality was just off. He wasn't in the right mind state. But this time, he came out with a whole nother demeanor. He came out looking intense. Joe Stevenson, like you said, he took damage in his last fight. So there was that risk of running, man. Like, how's his chin holding up? How is he mental state-wise? But Hader Hassan, as soon as the bell rang, came out, pressure forward, put Joe up against the cage a little bit, and it was pretty much, you blinked, you missed it. Left hook from Hader, stunned Joe a little bit, caught him on his heels, and then uppercut followed right on the button, and that was it. It was under 10 seconds for sure. But Hader, man, what an uppercut, knocked him clean out. I felt bad for Joe Stevenson, but man, maybe that fight with Justin Edwards was a little too much, and doing a fight with Hader 6 days after, maybe that wasn't the best for him. But Hassan, just that uppercut was nasty, man.
That's what you need in a tournament like this. You need to just get in and out and not really sustain that much damage in your fights because you got to turn around and do it again.
Yeah. As I think about it now, I mean, he's not the only one that's got kids, and he's not the only one chasing a dream, and I think Dana messed up. It should have been probably Eddie Gordon, who had, he lost weeks ago, according to the timeline of the house, versus Hader Hassan. I think that would have been the best, too, as far as health. And I think Eddie, he won a season, and he dropped from middleweight to 70 to compete. So it's too bad he didn't factor in. Now, maybe if someone gets hurt going on, maybe he'll be a first replacement of some sort. But I remember how concerned he was when he didn't get chosen. And we get to the end of the fight, and Cody's giving TJ all kinds of shit. Jason, did you agree with that? Do you think he was a little out of line?
Wrong place, especially because Joe was just waking up asking, like, hey, what the heck happened? I just heard the bell rang, and next thing you know, the ref stopping it. So he wasn't really aware of his surroundings. I thought maybe Cody should have toned it down a little bit, maybe said it in the hallway or in, a back room. But I just don't think it was the right place. But in the end, man, it's, Cody was upset. I can understand that. Even though it's not on his team, it's still a fighter mentality, man. And Joe Stevenson, he's a legend. If you watch UFC back in the day, MMA, you know who he is. So it's definitely sad to see him get knocked out like that. But I can understand Cody, but I just think it was the wrong place at the wrong time.
When he first reacted, because that's the way he is, he's very emotional, and he's a little bit of a bit of a hothead. When he said, "I told you, TJ," I probably would have left it at that. That was his initial reaction. It is a fight, okay, But yeah, once they got inside, I think it was more about how's Joe. That's why even the guy that raises his hands, he jumps on the fence, he says whatever he has to do, but then there's a concern because they have gone to battle, and then especially them all being veterans, and then you address that guy and see how he is and leave the rest for the rest, because that's more of a I told you, TJ, and that's more, again, coach interaction, which they can leave off to the side. There's been plenty of build-up for that fight. We can't wait for that fight. But I think he should have just stopped at that.
I think so too, but I think it was probably weeks of just getting smashed on, right? His fighters losing, having to see TJ Dillashaw jumping in the air. I made the right decisions. I made the right picks. So the one chance that he got to throw it back at him, that's probably what came out. It was a little bit overboard, I thought, yeah.
Then we get to the coach's challenge. Explain for the listeners and the viewers what the hell they were doing out there, because we had to go back to grade school for tetherball.
You know what, gentlemen? I was excellent in tetherball back in the day, so I would have done great at this challenge. Pretty much it was tetherball in a pool. So they had this big, giant pool, and they had these balance beams that TJ and Cody had to stand on. And there was a tetherball in the middle, and it was a game of tetherball. But if you fall in, you have to get right back up, or else the person can pretty much win the game easily by chucking the ball around the post there. So it was interesting. I mean, it was probably one of the most funnest coaches challenge I've ever seen, rather than Connor and Uri just dropping watermelons. That wasn't too interesting, but it a little bit athleticism in there. So yeah, Cody took a big lead in that one, and of course, if you win, the coach gets $10,000. The fighters get $1,500. So of course, the fighters are like, hell yeah, give me some money, man, give me some pocket cash. So Cody took a big lead. I believe he was up 8-4. And then TJ just came back and won 6 straight games, pocketed $10,000, and you could see Cody, man, he was upset that he lost to TJ. Even in tetherball, like, I'm pretty sure he's got money, so maybe the money thing's not factored. Steam coming off his head.
As silly as it was, I actually wouldn't. If they repeated a coach's challenge, I kind of liked that game. They went all the way to 10. The only problem was, okay, so you're standing on either side of the pole, and they're obviously trying to be balanced. You can't get too close to the pole. Otherwise, when there's a lot of rope left, then you're obviously not going to have a good shot at the ball. So you have to kind of balance between how far out the ball will go and then how close it'll go in case you want to save it. So they picked the middle spot. But once they established, well, wait a minute, I need to swing this so that when it goes around and does a revolution, it goes over his head. That's when it was basically just who can get to that position, and TJ was able to match that because he was down 8-4. Then he came back and did it. But if there was a little bit more of just a back and forth,
I'd add a little wrinkle to that game.
What's that?
Only because you only really need one hand. You can use 2 to stop it or whatever, but really you only need one. Just like in jousting, if you had one of them foam pads where you could joust the other guy on the other end,
that would be interesting.
With this hand, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he was down 8-4, and they do a great job of editing, and I don't know why I thought, even though TJ came back to tie it, that Cody may still pull it out, because you know how they talk to each other, or they talk to the camera, and so it sounded like Cody was serving us up for I still put him away, but that was not the case, Jason B.
No, so TJ pocketed some money. I know Tom Galicchio was the guy who said before the show, man, he was broke putting in candy machines. So he definitely was probably excited they had $1,500. But moving on to the quarterfinal round, they named the fight, and the first fight was Tom Galicchio talking about, and he had to verse Justin Edwards, who just beat Joe Stevenson in the last preliminary round. So this fight is very intriguing because Justin has a very forward style, and Tom, as we know, man, he's a grappler. His striking, I don't want to say it's sloppy because that's offensive, but he's just not the most fluid striker. He's no Anderson Silva, Conor McGregor. He's kind of upright, and he doesn't look like the most athletic guy, but he's gritty. So coming in the fight, Justin Edwards has a high, beating Joe Daddy Stevenson. Tom Galicchio got a rear naked choke on Eddie Gordon, so he's vicious when it gets to the ground. This fight started off, Justin Edwards was kind of just throwing a 1-2, a basic simple combo, 1-2, tagged Galicchio once, twice, 3 times, and I'm like, crap, man, Tom's got to get this down. It was much like his first fight. He was getting tagged, and it's just like, man, get this fight to the ground, because this isn't going well for you in the feet. Eventually, Justin just threw a 1-2, clipped him on the chin. Tom kind of fell on his butt. And what does the grappler do when he's on his back? He shoots a double leg, goes for it. Justin slides that arm underneath the chin, goes for a guillotine choke. And you guys were talking about skipping the episode and just going straight to the fight. But whoever did that missed Joe Stevenson during that episode teaching Tom how to get out of that exact choke. So what ends up happening? Justin gets the guillotine, drops down to his back, sinks it in, and I'm going, it's over. But then he steps over the leg, gets into like a side control position, and that was the exact escape Joe Stevenson was teaching Tom in the episode about 15 minutes before. So it's pretty funny to see, yeah, I mean, he learned that about probably 2 days before, and now he's using this fight, and it's probably saved him.
Black belt, a black belt learning from a black belt. How about that? That was amazing because Tom Galicchio's a legit black belt, you know, but you know, those guys are always learning. So you're right. Great, good job in pointing that out. Skipping to the fight, sometimes you miss something, and that was something they specified in the training session. Galicchio takes his back, or excuse me, I'll jump in here a little bit, but what I told Goes was it reminded me of Mayan Masvidal. At no point do you want to be touching the snake, all right? Mm-hmm. Because if he slithers around and just grabs anything, in this case, like Jason said, a double, a single, whatever, and he gets a hold of you, do you see how fast a concussed, because more than likely he was concussed, Galicchio was able to get on Edwards' back and then just go to town. It was amazing, man. He was better off just basically standing up, asking him to get up, and then starting wailing away with those hooks and putting him out.
Some power
shots.
He
sure was, man. He had that fight. He was that close, and he made that mistake. So on goes Galicchio. Congrats to him. Jason, we have to rush a little bit, but tell us the rest of the quarterfinals. We know that Galicchio already eliminated Edwards. Krause has Nijam. Who are the other ones?
Diego Lima has Gilbert Smith in the next fight coming up, so I'm really excited for that one. Gilbert Smith is a powerful guy, but Diego Lima, man, he's a long, lengthy striker, but his kind of niche has been he's backed up to the cage too much, and that's how he got knocked out by Eddie Gordon in the finale in season 19. So as long as I think he keeps his head movement and doesn't put his back against the cage in a strong guy like Gilbert Smith, I believe he'll be able to move on. And Diego Lima, he's kind of my pick to win it all. So maybe he'll prove me right, maybe he'll prove me wrong in the next upcoming matchup.
Yep, and next week's episode shows that they're all going out. Hopefully Taylor's behaving. And Smith's not feeling it. He's got a fight coming up, so he's taking it serious. So who knows if Lima gets caught slipping. We'll definitely tune in. We'll do this again next week, all right, brother?
They gotta wheel him out like Hannibal Lecter.
All right, thanks, Jason B. Good to hear from you, bro. Oh, I don't know if his phone went out, but good to hear from you. All right, we got to go. It's the last break here. We'll be right back. We'll preview the second hour. It's MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
All right, thanks again to Jason B., the intern. He'll always be known as the intern, even if he goes on to be the next Howard Stern. He'll be the intern to us. Follow him on Twitter at JasonBuckhamer8. JasonBuchamer, the number 8. Give him some love. We'll finish out the season with him in terms of Tough 25 redemption. Thought he did a great job there. And again, if we kind of rush there through the end, it is Tom Galicchio advancing to the semifinals. He defeated Justin Edwards. James Krause has Ramsey Nijum. A lot of people are looking forward to that fight. Hader Hassan versus
Cody.
JT Money Taylor. And Diego Lima versus Gilbert Smith is the last one. How about in that tetherball game, Ramsey? He may have had an assist there against Cody.
If I was on that team, I would have told everyone, hey, grab $100 and give it to Ramsey, because he really shook him up.
He did. The whole team was like, what the hell's going on? He was saying, hey, Uncle Uriah's not here to save you or something like that, right? Yeah. Even he said, I don't know what the hell I was saying. I had a couple drinks, but I think it worked. That's how intense those guys are. That's how competitive they are. Like, on the one hand, you want to say, could that have been it? But Jesus Christ, Cody looks so awesome against Dominic that
he did that to Dominic.
One could say, no, man, he just didn't play well in tetherball at the very end. You know, they were falling into freezing water, too. This was filmed a long time ago. That's why they were in those long wetsuits, or full-body wetsuits, I should say. But who knows? Well, I think it's funner to say, yeah, Ramsey may have affected it. Mm-hmm. We'll just run with that one. All right, folks. In the second hour, we'll be joined by Alex Garcia. He's fighting Tim Means at UFC Fight Night 110. We'll also be joined by Ryan Parsons, who has just co-authored a book with Chael Sonnen. Stay close. And if you want to join in on the party, it's 866-522-2846.
little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less bark, a little less fight, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart, and baby, satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby. Baby, close your eyes and listen to the music, dig to the summer breeze. It's a groovy night and I can show you how to use it. To come along with me and put your mind at ease. A little less conversation, a little more action, please. All this aggravation ain't satisfaction in me. A little more bite, a little less spark, a little less fight, a little more spark. Close your mouth and open up your heart, and baby, satisfy me. Satisfy me, baby.
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. Who chose that one? Martin Stabilo?
No, he chose yellow card. Who chose that one, Danny?
That was Johnny Rico.
Oh, that had to be his dad.
The influence.
Yeah. I don't think Johnny Rico knows about
Elvis?
Elvis, like in that kind of depth.
Probably not.
He probably really thinks Elvis is Mike Johnson. Well, then again, he did watch 365 movies, so maybe Elvis popped up on one of them. You know what's a good Elvis movie if you ever want to watch it?
True Romance.
Well, yeah, that always does pop in, but
Clambake.
Clambake.
I don't know very many Elvis movies. I think I've only seen that one and one other one, but I did like Clambake.
Bill Bixby, who was the original David Banner, who becomes the Hulk, is in that movie with Elvis Presley.
Was he really?
And it's entertaining. Yeah, he was the guy that was just Bill Banner, or David Banner, and then eventually he would turn into the Hulk, which was played by Lou Ferrigno, and it was a huge show on CBS for many years. In fact, a little fun fact, back in the day, what is Ronda in again? Ronda Rousey? They're revitalizing
Battle of the Network Stars.
All right, so back in the day, Battle of the Network Stars was CBS, NBC, and ABC. Fox didn't even exist. If they did it now, you'd have to throw in Fox. And TV stars from long-time shows would participate in like a decathlon of different events, almost like the Ultimate Fighter. Like one episode could be a tetherball, but another one would be like an obstacle course. So there would be some challenges to it. And one year it came down to CBS. They had, let's just say they were facing NBC or ABC. I don't know who it was. And it came down to the tug of war. And CBS had Lou Ferrigno. And it was so funny, man. I mean, he just gave it a good pull, and they all went flying into the pit of mud.
Like Revenge of the Nerds?
And CBS won. Yeah, so it was funny because I think they interviewed Gabe Kaplan from Welcome Back Kotter, and they go, what are you going to do? And he goes, pray. You know, he kind of knew there was no chance. A super stud in all this was Scott Baio. He was really good at the obstacle course.
He went back that far? From like what, Joni Loves Chachi or something?
No,
like
Happy Days, I guess.
Huh.
And I mean, like, he would get great scores in that, and so that was like Gabe Kaplan always had his arm around him, like, this is my secret weapon.
In the obstacle course?
Yeah, he was good at that and a few other things, but I remember it either boiled down to the tug of war or the obstacle course, and he would always like just do really well at it. So he was good.
ABC had Wild World of Sports, right? So didn't those guys qualify for that?
No, because that was Wild World of Sports was like, today we'll go to Austria for the Vienna Open, and it would be downhill skiing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'd say, we're also headed for Cuba, where the U.S. and Cuba will face off in freestyle wrestling. And then the last thing would be, lastly, we're going to Canada for the Iditarod. So it was a wide world of different sports, but that's how I know that Bulgaria and certain, like Iran, had some great wrestling teams going back years, and I know where the good skiers are from, because that's what wide world of sports, they took you everywhere. Or sometimes it'd be a certain boxing matchup. It could be amateur, it could be Olympic, pro, or whatever.
Wait, no, they didn't
really. Huh?
They did the qualifiers, right, or something like that. I just remember they used to do that.
They had everything. They had a little bit of everything. But it was a great show hosted by Jim McKay. And if you ever hear the term the agony of defeat, just type in Wide World of Sports and you'll see a promo on YouTube, and you just see some guy eating shit coming off the you see skiing off I don't know if it's a hill, if he's doing downhill jumping or the jumping or the downhill skiing.
It's the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Can you do it here? Can we hear it?
Yeah.
A lot of people will recognize it.
Like the theme music, or?
Yeah, maybe if it does the whole commercial or the whole theme song. While I track down this number here. I got to get Danny a couple phone numbers here, and I may have
Apparently
lost one.
he asked you an incredible question.
Did you find it, guys?
Well, World of Sports intro 1978.
Yeah, play that.
Evil Knievel.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes they'd go, we're going to Las Vegas where Evil Knievel will attempt to jump the fountains.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Now, see, on a Monday, we would walk into the classroom and go, hey, did you see the U.S. out-wrestle Cuba? You know, it went down to the finals of the heavyweights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that was pretty cool. Or, did you see Franz Klammer, one of the greatest skiers ever? He represented. The Austrian fans are going nutty. Now kids go to school and go, did you see what Jimmy posted on Facebook? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when I see that, I'm like, fucking, your guys' brains are going to mush. Like, you're just living off reality versus, I guess, other forms of entertainment. Now, for me, it was sports. And I had no problem with anyone that came in and says, I don't watch sports, but this weekend, me and my mom went to a play. All right, cool. That's cool. Maybe that's for me, or maybe if it isn't, or maybe we went hiking. A lot of kids were Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts or whatever. It was just a little bit of a different vibe, and now it's kind of like more video games and reality TV and Facebook and just, I don't know, different.
Different world. I think we always make fun of our parents, right, for little comments they make.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we turn into them eventually.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's squeeze in this quick call. I know we're going to be expecting Alex Garcia soon, so let's do Chris from Fresno. What's up, bud?
How's it going? Can you guys hear me well?
Say what?
Oh, there we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just had a quick question. Something I tried. What do you guys think about, and I'll take it off air, and if you guys keep me on second, but what do you guys think about staggered parlays? And if you guys have ever had success in them?
Staggered parlays, like meaning, let's say you do 2 fights today off today's card, and you leave it open for next week?
Right, yeah, like pick a few fighters off each card. You know?
Man, I have. All right, so you want to be put off. All right.
If you have the patience for it, it could be a good thing, right? Because it doesn't rush you into making a pick just to complete your parlay. But I'm just the guy that doesn't have patience for that. I need to know by the end of the night, am I cashing or not?
Right. Yeah. Goes nailed it. If you have very little patience, then it's going to bug you. But that's probably something you can get over. I would say that most of the time Goes and I are small time in it, $10, $20, maybe 50, whatever. But I would suppose that if this is your this is your career and you take it serious and you're doing a $200 parlay with a payoff of $1,500, then yeah, if you only see 2 good ones here and you can leave it open, then in the following week or maybe the week after that, you should be able to close it. Then I don't see a problem with it. I mean, that's $1,500 at stake. That's a lot of people's rent or a couple car payments, maybe 3 car payments. I don't know.
Jesus, let's hope so.
Yeah. So nothing wrong with it at all. Now, some offshore places allow it. You can't do it here. But what you could do is say, give me A and B parlayed, cash your ticket, and then come in a week later and go, nah, put it all in on C. And you should have almost the same.
Does that work?
Yeah, because, again, off $100. And, boy, here come the Aarons and Munas with the fucking calculators. But on a typical play here, all right, if you go $100, you're going to get paid $260 off a 2-team parlay, right? So then you grab the $260 you got paid plus the $100 you put up. They're handing it back to you. Mm-hmm. You have $360. You could go, here's all of it. So here's my let me see, you're holding $360 at that point. and they're going to take back the juice, which is $36, 10% off the 36. So you'd be going $360 to win $324, I think so. And if you win that, then they'll be handing you $684, right? Now, if you just went in there and go, give me A, B, and C, because they're all playing today, 100 plus at 6-to-1 odds is 600 plus the 100 back is 700. So it's either 700 or 684. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same. You could. That's the way you do it here. And here's another tip for you all. A lot of times you'll go like the NCAA tournament, and if you go, hey man, what's USC to win it all, or Virginia Tech or something, and you look and it's like 50-1. Don't do it that way. If you really think they're gonna win it all, then trust me, go in there and go, give me 100 on USC, and if they win, roll it over, because that's basically what you're doing with the 100 anyway, right?
Yeah.
And trust me, it'll be more than the 50-1. That's how the casino can get you in terms of those types of odds. Just roll it over.
Do you know if I would have gone to Virginia Tech, we may not be here?
Because you would have been part of that spree?
No. Well, because I don't think we would have done a show, right?
Oh, possibly.
But yeah, I could have died too because I was in that building.
They had a shooter. So you see how this froze?
It's frozen? You can't.
Well, no, I got to log on again. But all right. Let's take a break. I think we answered Chris's question. Big money, yeah, do it, man. You know, be selective with what you choose, and there's ways to do it through the legal sportsbook here or offshore. A lot of them will let you do open parlays. And, of course, if you call Fat Tony or Schools, I'm pretty sure they'll write a ticket and they'll leave it open for you as well. So
Schools?
I don't know. That's Carlito's Way reference. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We'll be right back.
In the heart of America, stolen from Africa.
Hey, idiot! Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
Pretty cool story there on the front page of MMA Junkie. Swanson wants title shot with Holloway. 100% would have gotten it if Aldo won. All you Cub Swanson fans, you were that close.
You were right there.
I knew he was in the ballpark, but I didn't know he was getting those types of assurances. And Cub, who was on Tuesday's show, I was off that day, but I heard it, said it was very highly likely, of course, leaving the caveat that anything can happen and has happened in the past where they say something and go in a different direction. But I am now starting to understand just how serious this thing is with Frankie having gotten other shots. Now, he'll argue, well, I've beaten people to get to these shots, so it's not like they gifted them.
You were one of them, is probably what you would say.
I think what it boiled down to was one's more deserving, but the other one is more sellable.
And
although,
fresh. Well, not
yeah,
really
fresh.
Because
Yeah, fresh is a good word. Because Cubs never gotten a title shot. But I also believe that Edgar's gotten a ton of respect over the years, even though he was kind of a decision guy for a long time. He's just an amazing fighter and such a good guy. And so I think he's got a massive following. All right, we're going to bring in Alex Garcia, who's fighting Tim Means at UFC Fight Night 112. This takes place on June 25th, headlined by Kevin Lee and Michael Chiesa. Joining us now is Alex Garcia. What's up, Alex? How you doing?
Hey, guys. How are you? I'm good.
Good. Check you out. You sound more gringo every time we talk to you. You're really putting in some time in the English lessons.
I'm telling you, I'm working my ass every day in every different aspect of my life.
Hey, Alex, we've had you on the show about 10 times. I'm gonna tell you how you slowly used to talk to us. Okay? No, don't take it personal. You ready?
Yes.
All right, goes. You be me and just ask me how I'm doing.
George, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm Alex.
Oh, Alex, how are you doing today?
¿Qué te pasa, man? Do it again.
George, how are you doing? Or Alex, how are you doing today?
¿Qué te pasa, guys?
Alex, how are you doing today?
Hello, gentlemen.
That's today?
Yeah. So you've progressed.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Greetings, gentlemen. Greetings, gentlemen.
Good day, sir.
Good day, sir. No, seriously, that you're losing the accent. You're really putting in the work, and I imagine you're making this kind of headway with the speaking French as well. Have you picked that one up too?
Yeah, I had to pick it up as well, but now I'm being here, like trying to speak English, Spanish, and French. So now I'm almost a gringo. I can speak the three languages.
There you go. And what's better, your French or your English?
I believe my English, definitely, yes.
And in the gym, what do they obviously speak mostly English, right? But is French the number two? I imagine.
No, they speak both language. They speak bilingual. They speak English and French as well.
Yeah. Wow. Have you ever thought of? Does Faraz ever want to just communicate in French with everybody? That way, nobody can pick up on instructions.
He do it sometimes. He also do it sometimes during the fight, like communicates in French.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're fighting, sometimes it depends which opponent we're competing, but he does. I'm able to keep it up and catch it, whatever he sent to me. So it's good.
Just give me a simple one. How is throw the jab? How do you say that in French? Do you know?
Yes.
Let's hear it. Throw the jab.
Ramsto jab. Ramsto jab.
Ramsto jab. Okay. But
I think I'd still know it's
But
coming.
the word jab, yeah, is still kind of leading the opponent to know that it's coming.
Jab. Yeah. But jab is like a universal word. Everybody use the same word to jab.
How about leg kick? How about leg kick in French?
Jump.
Okay. Oh, see now that one you wouldn't be expecting.
Mm-hmm.
But if I hear jab in any form of a jab, I think I know someone's throwing the number one punch. Interesting. And would you say you love Montreal now? Like, is it just going to be a place where you live when you fight, and then that'll be it, or are you starting to fall in love and immerse yourself with that city?
It would be my second hometown. Well, my first hometown now because I live here. And yes, I do love Montreal, and I love every part of Montreal. I love since the timing changing with the season.
Yeah.
And it's good, the Dominican Republic is my first hometown, but now I've been here for the last 8 years, so I love it here. Yeah. I would stay here back and forth the rest of my life.
Wow. You don't mind
endorsement.
You don't mind What about when it's super cold and you got to shovel the snow just to get your car out? Oh, that sucks, though, right?
It sucks, but I guess I adapt. I'm very good at adapting to the situation, so that's not a problem for me.
All right. And what about training for fights? Does it matter whether it's summer or winter? As far as, I mean, I know you guys are inside, but a lot of people like to do the road work.
For me, I feel the difference. I definitely love train for a fight on the summer.
Yeah.
On the winter, it's a long day. It's a long practice. Only to warm up, it takes me 45 minutes.
Oh, man.
And the summer, it takes me 3 minutes to warm up, to start sweating. On the winter, it takes me 45 minutes to drop one sweat off my forehead.
Wow.
So I definitely love to train the most on the summer.
All right. Now, here's a silly question. But do you know how fighters do the ice baths so that they can recover?
Yeah.
Could you just jump into a bunch of snow and lay there for a while, or is that too cold?
Well, I tried it, but it's a different cold.
Oh, yeah? You did try it with...
Different cold, yeah.
I imagine you were wearing a little bit of clothes, though, right?
Yeah, it was like only some little tight boxers.
And what did it feel like?
It feels like I was looking down and didn't see shit for the first time in my life.
It burns the skin, doesn't it?
It can, yeah. So you'd have to have a layer of clothing, but I imagine it's still cold. I imagine it might help a little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it will burn the skin if you stay long enough. If you do it for like a minute or so, you'll be good. You'll be okay. But if you go over time, definitely it's gonna burn the skin. It happened to me once actually. I put the ice on my knee and I fall asleep. I fall asleep and I wake up and my skin was frozen. So I burned my skin.
And how bad was it? Was it like to a certain degree, or it was just little pain?
No, it was little pain. It was nothing major.
Alex, have you ever watched these countdown shows that the UFC does? When they're in high altitude cities, they'll go, hey, we work 2 times a week, and then on Saturdays, Greg Jackson takes us to do the hill. Or in Southern California, they'll go, we're 7,000 feet in Big Bear. Or in Las Vegas, they'll go, we went up to Mount Charleston. Does Firas have a certain workout, whether it's in the cold or a hill? Do you guys have a dreaded type of practice where you all have to go out and do something?
We don't have anything specifically that way, but I do go. I run on a mountain in the winter, -30, -20.
Up a mountain, you said?
Up the mountain.
Yeesh.
I do it out of my way with a couple of my other friends. We do it like once a week, the whole winter through. We do it. If it's raining, it's snowing, it doesn't matter. We still do it. It's called the running club of my friend Leslie, so I run with him all the time.
Okay. The other ones nobody from TriStars ever run it with you?
No, I never see one of them.
Oh, well, are they chicken?
I'm like, let's go running on Monday. I say, it's fucking cold. I won't do this.
Wow.
So I go by myself, and I meet my friends from the running club, and we go around. We go up the hill, up the mountain. Every Monday.
How long is the trip?
Summer. It's about 45 minutes.
45 up, 45 down, or 45 round trip?
Round trip, I say 55 minutes. 50 round trip. So it's kind of like up and then down.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have a little talk up there and then we come down again.
Do you run down, or do you kind of slide down like a toboggan or something down the snow?
In the winter, I run down. On the summer, I run down. In the winter, I just slide down.
That's funny. All right. This is Alex Garcia. We're talking to UFC welterweight. He's fighting Tim Means. Man, that should be an awesome fight at UFC Fight Night 112. It takes place in Oklahoma City on June 25th. That's a Sunday affair, folks. It's actually one day after Bellator NYC, so what a great weekend of fights. The headliner here, of course, is Kevin Lee and Michael Chiesa. All right, Goes, what do you have for Alex Garcia?
Alex, so let's go back to December 30th. This is when you fought Mike Pyle. You got the KO. We saw the look on your face and how excited you were. Do you feel like even now you still have that momentum from that fight that you can carry into this fight?
Yes, I feel it's been a long time already since I fought him. Yeah, I feel I have that moment going with me because I was waiting for the fight since 5 days later. I only got to fight now. I don't know why. But yes, I still have that moment on me to go through this fight because I really want to compete, I really want to put another show as I did it last time.
So you've been healthy this whole time. It's just taken you a while to get the fight.
Yes, I'm being healthy the whole time. I'm being training every day. Even when I go traveling for vacation, I train as well. I don't like to take a lot of time off. And yes, I was being hurt the whole time through, and then I just took a long time for me to get the fight. Finally, I got it down. So now I'm going to kick ass on June 25th, and hopefully the next one will be shorter, short waiting time.
Tim Means and Mike Pyle have a little bit of a similar stand-up style. Did you see very many differences in having to change your camp from one fight to the next?
Every opponent for me is a different mindset, it's a different mentality to train for that opponent because it's a different person and it's a different style. They're very similar with a help on my way because I'm familiar with the style, but every time I have a different opponent, so I have a different mindset for each fighter.
Tim Means is coming off a loss. You're coming off a great win. Aside from the delay in getting you a fight because you said you were healthy, are you a little disappointed that you didn't get someone else coming off a win or possibly somebody that's, maybe ranked higher? I mean, are you content with the matchup or were you looking to go in another direction? Years ago, they always matched up fighters that were coming off a win versus each other and fighters that were coming off a loss. Most of the time they did that. And now I'm seeing a little bit of a difference. But what did you think of the actual matchup?
Well, yes, I am a little disappointed in this way, Not because Team Means, just because, I'm coming from a winning, from great KO. And I want to be in the top 10, top 15, like I say, after my interview, after my fight, No disrespect for Team Means, but I want to move forward. I'm still going to move forward with him, when I fight him. But yes, I want somebody in the top 10, top 15. I want to challenge myself,
Yeah.
The bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. Like you said, no disrespect to Tamines because he's a warrior. He always puts on great fights, and that's why we're excited about it. And we'll see. With a win here, Alex, I really think, now's the time to make that push, to get into that top 15, top 10, eventually compete for a world title in 2018.
That's my plan, That's what I'm working hard for every day, to be in the top 10, top 15, to be a champion.
Yeah.
One day and be a champion,
All right. Well, again, congrats on your ever-improving English, and thanks for sharing a little bit about you in terms of those different types of workouts that you have. The hill. What's the name of the hill, by the way? Does it have a name?
Yeah, Moroya.
Moroya. And how high is it? Do you know in terms of meters or feet?
I haven't had time to measure yet.
Oh,
so
okay.
No, I don't know.
Right, just curious. All right. Well, thank you, Alex, for spending some time with us. We appreciate it as always, and good luck on June 25th against Tim Means. Can't wait for that fight.
Thank you guys for having me here, and it's always a pleasure to share some of my lifetime with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Well, that's Alex Garcia, folks. Follow him on Twitter at AlexMMA. Shout out to Mitch M for lining that up. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break, and then we'll talk to Ryan Parsons.
Hey, garbage.
to link into the MMA Junkie Radio Network. Hit us up on Twitter.com at MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
I'm not sure if I shouted out the Twitter handle for Alex Garcia. It's Alex Garcia MMA. So at Alex Garcia MMA, give him a follow. Again, he fights Tim Means at UFC Fight Night 112. And that card goes, that one's got ranked fighters. And it's sneaking up on us. I don't know, I haven't counted.
We set that limit.
But starting with Chiesa and Lee, that's a solid matchup. But I know Felice is ranked. She's on the card as well. And Garcia and Means are two very exciting welterweights.
That's an underrated fight.
Johnny Hendricks is on the fight card versus Tim Boach. I don't have it in front of me, but we can look at it in a bit. And again, the Twitter handles for today were Jason Buckamer 8 for Jason the Intern, Alex Garcia MMA, and our next guest, Ryan Parsons, can be followed at Hey Ryan Parsons. What's so funny?
I like that.
You like that?
Hey Ryan Parsons.
It's better than For Real, right?
Yeah.
Or the real.
The real. But the real is like street cred. If you have that, then that means that you're very, very popular.
It could be, yeah. Joining us now is Ryan Parsons. What's up, Ryan? How you doing?
Hey, guys. What's happening?
Not much. And yourself?
I am doing well. Yes, thank you.
So Ryan manages fighters. He's been around the sport for a long time. And the latest thing going on with Ryan is Morocco. The Magnificent Morocco alerted me to this. He has co-authored a book with Chael Sonnen. It's called The 4-Pack Revolution. Check this out. How you can aim lower, cheat on your diet, and still lose weight and keep it off.
I'm in.
That's music to my ears.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to dig into this. It's available on Amazon as a pre-order. And we want to find out more about this. Ryan, welcome to the show, and tell us a little bit about the 4-Pack Revolution.
Well, yeah, I've been doing diet stuff for 20 years now. And in MMA, it started with Randy Couture. I'd go stay with him before fights and help him with his weight cuts and prepare meals and all that stuff. And did it with some people outside in the entertainment industry, and it's just kind of been 20 years of experience. And Chael and I have been friends and worked together since Abu Dhabi in 2003 is the first time we met and spent time together. And about a year and a half ago, we got together and decided it was time to write a book on this subject. He's been cutting weight his whole life, and nutrition's obviously a big part of what he does as a professional fighter. And with my experience, we put a book together, we pitched the idea, and a publisher loved it, and they bought it, and we wrote it, and in December it comes out.
Man, that's awesome. What I like is it's like you're totally reaching out to a rotund fella like myself. Like I think a lot of times diets scare just the title of a book or a diet itself can scare someone off because you're feeling like, well, is this so intense that only premier athletes can do it, or could I possibly get injured? And it's like you're putting your arm around me going, hey, we're going to take it slow and we're going to keep it real here. You know, there might be a corner to be cut, but we're going to show you how we can nullify that, but by also doing some positive things along the way. I don't know. I just like the feel of the book.
I appreciate that. And I think you really hit the nail on the head there. And it's, do I have to be perfect, or do I have to look like an elite athlete? Because that's the only thing that gets sold. It's a fat flush, 21 days to a six-pack, or you see someone on the cover of a supplement bottle or a fitness magazine or some infomercial ad, and everyone is in incredible shape, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror going, I am not even close. I'm supposed to reach that in 60 days or 30 days or 7 days, whatever the number that's promised in that particular ad or supplement. And we kind of flipped it around a little bit and said, if your expectation is to look like maybe a UFC fighter on stage or a professional fitness model on that cover of a magazine or an ad, if that's your expectation, good luck, because you're going to feel like shit about yourself the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And really, that's not how it goes. If you see, go ahead.
No, you, sir.
Oh, so yeah, we kind of all in the genetic prime of their life. Well, you're at work, they're in the gym. By the time that picture gets taken, they've been dieting for weeks or months. They have an awesome photographer with great lighting. Yourself, and this is the expectation, or this is what's promised. There's part of you knows that's bullshit. That's not how it works. Take a UFC fighter. There's a lot of fighters who will not do a photo shoot with their shirt off for a good portion of the year. for the reason is that six-pack carved look that everyone has promised and we all crave, it doesn't last for long. It's a temporary state. And what do you do when the pendulum swings back the other direction? All of a sudden you get frustrated and old eating patterns start to happen. You're a little bit older, your metabolism's slower, and then you go, fuck it, here I go. And then you're 40 pounds overweight, not feeling good. And this is the diet industry, right? So six-pack, it's for teenagers and drug addicts. Aim for a four-pack. That's reasonable for a lot of people. And no one ever wants a four-pack, but I'll tell you one thing. If you get up in the morning, take a shower, dry yourself off, look at yourself in the mirror, and you see 4 of your 6 abs staring back at you, that is extremely satisfying.
Hell yeah, I'd be stoked. Just wear your pants up a little bit higher, right? Be Urkel.
I like it, man. Forget abs of steel. Go for abs of seal.
No one will call you fat.
Now, let me say this. I also believe, not like I'm uncovering anything here, but a lot of people just aren't just predisposed for that type of body, whether it's genetics or your metabolism. I mean, I remember when I played some football and basketball, but some of the best shape I ever got in was water polo, and I had to be in a Speedo for crying out loud. This was freshman year. Pretty much, your teen years when you can be almost as thin as you can, going through, one hell of a month that week. And I still remember I'd have to struggle if I even had one ab, and that was in pretty good shape. So for me, I just don't think I would ever really have the abs unless, like Ryan said, I started taking some sort of an enhancer and I went through some sort of a strict diet. But naturally, I could never get there. I'm more concerned about my heart and just having a manageable weight for my clothes, living longer, and just trying to fight off some of the illnesses that come along with aging.
Well, to your point, do you guys remember Brian Foster? He fought he was a Team Quest guy. He had full of tattoos. Do you remember him?
Yes.
Fought in the IFL. Great guy. He was a Marine recon, Special Forces guy. He was a sniper, adventure guy, the hardest worker on the planet. Still, for Dan's last fight, went in there and would spar with him as hard as tough as a man could get. He couldn't get a six-pack if you paid him, and no one has ever worked harder. Genetically, he was not able to do it, and genetics play a huge part. Andy Galpin's a friend of mine who runs a sports performance lab, and he does muscle biopsies where they test the genetic composition of your muscle fibers. And there's one type that they call the Lamborghini fiber that if any of us had, we probably have less than 1% if we have any of it. He tested a world champion or world record holder for the 110-meter hurdles. This guy had 25% of his muscle fibers were this Lamborghini fiber.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how much you train. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter who coaches you. If you do not have the genetic ability to do it, then nothing else matters. If coaching and diet matters, then Greg Jackson would turn everyone into John Jones, and it can't happen like that. So it's a very small percentage of people who are blessed with a specific genetics, especially on fat on your lower abs. My brother, we come from the same parents. He's 46, and he has a six-pack. Always has his whole life. Mm-hmm. I do not have those genes. I pack weight on easier than he does. So I can't expect for me to look like him or for you to look like John Jones. You're just not genetically built that way. And to your second point is, what's the real motivation here? You want to be healthy.
Yeah.
You want to have a strong heart and live a long life. And you want to feel good and put clothes on and go out and feel good about yourself. That's much different than the expectations that are placed on a lot of people about how they think they should look. Expectations through society or magazine ads or whatever they have out there, amazing Instagram pictures. But you nailed it. If you want to live, if you want to get in your ultimate best shape, super strict diet, all that stuff, how long can you do it for? 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
That's about the time I start falling apart. The wheels start coming off. All I need is that one cheat meal. I'm like, well, if I had one, I can have another and miss a workout. And then next thing you know,
you got that Toyota Corolla fiber.
That's absolutely it.
Yeah.
But imagine if you scheduled that meal. You didn't call it a cheat meal. We call it a system reset meal because cheat has something negative implied to it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's absolutely fine. Your body is designed to process a certain amount of sludge and be absolutely okay. So imagine if you had that meal once a week or so, and you felt good about it. You celebrated. It wasn't that big a deal. And there's a few little tricks that you can do to help offset some of the negative impacts. Like you worked out really hard that day. That helps your body process that meal.
Yeah.
So there's a few small little tricks that you can do to help you and feel good long term, not put yourself through the crazy ringer that so many people do on a regular basis. And Chael went through the same thing. When he stopped fighting, he got really out of shape. He was up to almost 260 pounds, and it wasn't pretty.
Wow. Yeah.
So when he
260,
got,
wow.
when he got going again to come back, when he got going again, he set a 12-month clock in his head and said, okay, if it starts, it's got to start now. I'm not going to wait till 3 months. He started 12 months before he thought he potentially would be licensed again. And he had to go through the same process that many people who get out of shape do, and that's start back to basics and get going again. And he did the work, and we chronicled it all in this book. It's pretty cool.
What, I guess, did you and Chael have different types of input? Like, was yours nutrition and his was the fitness, or was it vice versa? Or how did you guys share the responsibilities of the chapters, or how did this work out?
It was a real joint effort, and we both have a lot of similarities in our background and some real distinct differences. Me, I have my doctorate in chiropractic, but doing nutritional plans and that stuff for a long time. Chael, as a competitive athlete, had a different mindset around food and nutrition that evolved over the years. So we both he contributed stories to his past and some things that he did well and some areas that need improvement that he did, and we kind of share our story and process through this whole thing and detail it with everything from diet plans to recipes to workouts. And we're about to launch the 4packrevolution.com that will have a whole bunch of other stuff that didn't make the book. Just kind of more realistic approach to healthy living, feeling good. And like you said, I just want to feel good, have a healthy heart, and have my clothes look nice and go on with my life.
We're talking to Ryan Parsons, co-authored along with Chael Sonnen, the 4-Pack Revolution, How You Can Aim Lower, Cheat on Your Diet, and Still Lose Weight and Keep It Off, which is available for pre-order on Amazon. I'll tweet out the link later on, but you can easily go to www.amazon.com/4-pack-revolution-lower. I'll just tweet out the thing. It's 4-Pack Revolution Lower Cheat Weight, and it will be easier to do that, but very easy to find. What do you have for Ryan Parsons?
Ryan, who would you say is the target audience when you're putting out this book? Is there a certain age limit where you would say, okay, you probably can't do some of these things?
No, it's very broad. So anyone from 16 to 80 could utilize the information in this book. And as far as making it easy or hard, we really encourage people that you kind of have to find your own approach to healthy living, to diet and exercise that works for you. Because what works for me may not work for someone else. You may love to run, and I may go, I run around the block and my knees hurt. So we give all the tools for this for people to help kind of come up and create a plan that really fits their personality and lifestyle. Because if you don't do that, if you're doing workouts that you don't enjoy, no way you're going to keep doing it. If you're eating foods that you don't find some enjoyment in, no way you're going to continue doing it. And we all have different cultural preferences. We may grow up in different parts of the country or different parts of the world that go, hey, these are foods that I grew up with. I don't want these out of my diet. And for me, that may not be an issue. So it's a very broad scope of food this is. As far as the workouts go, those are scalable as well, how hard you want to do them. Obviously, if you're getting in shape or out of shape or have an injury or a little bit older, you can tone it back. If you're young and want to push, you can push forward with those.
When we say aim low, how low can we aim? I mean, these cheat meals, can you maybe give us an example? Like, is fast food definitely out of the question, or what would you consider like one of those meals?
I wouldn't take anything off the table. I think it comes to how much of it you eat and how often you eat it. So if you're saying, so what's your meal? What do you love? What don't you want to give up?
I would say whenever I have one of these meals, I usually make like a big steak or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's
a
your
burger.
thing. So, okay, so is it a homemade burger? Is your steak at home, or do you go out for steak?
I make it at home, and George's a store-bought burger.
It's a drive-through burger, actually.
Okay, so here's what I would do for the steak. I would make sure to source it, because do you eat a lot of this, or is it something regular, a couple times a month?
Maybe once a month.
Okay, so something that infrequently, I would go online and I would find the best purveyor of organic, grass-fed, and finished. And finished is the key word because all cows are started on grass. And, probably 6 to 9 months old, they're starting to be shipped off to these large factory farms where they're fed everything from corn to Skittles to get fat and ready for slaughter. It's not a terribly healthy environment. No, that's true. They feed them candy because it's cheaper than corn a lot of the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's somewhere in the Midwest, a big truck tipped over and Skittles went all over the freeway, and the Skittles are being shipped off to a commercial farm to fatten up cows. Sugar makes you fat.
Where was Marshawn Lynch that day?
Yeah, wow, I didn't know that one. All right, but I believe it.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would find the best farm, and there's one in California. I'll see if I can find it for you guys. But they raise all the cows, and it's exactly what you would think of a beautiful farm. And the cows are raised there, and they're slaughtered on the property by a mobile USDA food lab. So you have an animal that's lived a good life, that's ate healthy, natural foods, so the composition of that meat is going to be better. The fatty acid profiles will be much better. It'll be a healthier piece of meat for you to eat, and chances are it will taste a lot better. The fat will be tastier in it. So if you're eating once a month, pay more for a steak like that. Buy 5 or 6 of them, throw them in the freezer, and you have your monthly steak. Now you're getting a food that's much, much better, that tastes awesome, that you haven't sacrificed anything.
All right.
I like where
you're paying attention, Goes?
Yeah, little things like this that you can do to improve. Olive oil is another one. Most of the oils that you see, almost 95% of them in the supermarket, those clear kind of pale yellow oils, are processed to a degree that's almost unimaginable. And they do this because they're shelf stable. They don't have any flavor or taste to them, but it's one of the worst foods that you can put in your body. There's another company in California called Apollo Olive Oil, and they do things a little bit differently. They have organic olives grown on a farm where the trees are spaced far apart, so they have to use no pesticides on them. When you cram the trees together, you all of a sudden have infestation problems. They don't have to do that. They pick by hand, and they press the olives in a vacuum. They're the only people in the United States who do this. And they do it in a vacuum because anytime you expose an oil to heat, light, or air, the healthy compounds in that oil can turn rancid and become unhealthy for you. So if you buy your olive oil from them, it's a little bit more expensive, maybe $10 more a bottle. But for, the amount of oil that you use in a meal, it's minimal. And you have this olive oil that when you smell it, you realize you've never really smelled olive oil before. Sometimes it smells like fresh-cut grass. The aroma and the profiles of it are totally different, and the taste is amazing. And they win all sorts of medals with the best-tasting olive oil. So you could swap out your oils with something that tastes better, isn't that much more money, and you've done yourself a huge favor. So when you say how low can you start, you can start by making a change like that. You can make a change by, when you're done eating, do 50 air squats or take a walk around the block. Any little thing that you do is a small win. It builds momentum and leads to results.
Win some battles. I like it. And you know what? I just realized who I think I can look like if I drop 30 pounds, and I'm going to scoop up this book after the show. Fedor Emelianenko.
Yeah.
And how badass was he, right? Not now, Fedor from maybe 10 years ago, not the latest Fedor. We'll see how he looks in a few weeks here.
Do you get the sweater or no?
Yeah, I'm going to rock the sweater and everything.
You're going to have to walk off that ice cream, though, right?
Yeah, that's where that'll be my cheat meal. Brian, thanks for joining us here on the show. We got to move on because the show's wrapping up, but great to catch up with you. And we'll have to do it again soon, and we'll talk a little bit about Bermudez and Cummins and some of them other fine athletes that you represent. We'll keep plugging the book because we still have plenty of months until the book launches. But you can do the pre-order, folks, again on Amazon.com. 4-Pack Revolution, lower cheat weight are the key words there. It's easy to find. And Ryan, thanks again for doing the show.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Man, I know Ryan for a long time, and if you want to connect pieces, Goes a long time ago talked about how Ryan and Rampage used to do the slap games. That's how long ago we've been talking to Ryan, and very excited for these guys to do this. Ryan is also part of the brains behind some of those T-shirts that Chael has sold and done well with.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been doing business together and doing great things. Ryan Parsons, thanks for doing the show. Thank you to Alex Garcia, and thanks to Jason the intern. Tomorrow, Kevin Lee will be in studio. Might have another guest or two, so you'll have to tune in. Keep it locked on MMA Junkie throughout the day. For Danny and Goes, and shout out to Martin Stabilio. I am George. Have yourselves a great day. Go out there and be champions.
Never be the same again.